Hello, and welcome to Well of Being. I'm Melissa Laborsky, MD. And in this series, we are going to dive deeper into the Well of Being using the poetry book as an oracle. So when I started creating, the whole process of this incredible space evolved over a period of less than 9 months. And what I realized about 1 month into creating the pieces here in this space, every space is downloaded and it's filled with messages from many angles and many dimensions. And about a month in, I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh my gosh, every piece is also filled with beautiful poetry. And it gives you another angle and another perspective and another way to access each and every one of the pieces. So when I began to connect the poetry to the pieces, I played with all these different ways of how can I share that with others? Was I going to create an oracle card deck? Was I going to take images of it and have it like this interactive web page? Eventually I decided to publish it as a book, which is available to you, and I'll put the link in the messages about this post. And I have decided to take that to another level through this series. So I'm going to use the book as an oracle. And each time I choose to dive in this way with you, I'm just going to randomly pick one of the poems. And then that's going to lead us to an aspect, one of the spaces in Well of Being. So we'll focus, I'll go to that space, read its poem, and see what wants to come in terms of the magical messages. And by the way, if you didn't know, if you are local, you can access this space yourself through solo retreats. And if you are not local, this is a beautiful way to be able to dive into the messages that are here. So I'm gonna pick it just so you know that I'm not doing this. I'm not planning this. This is completely happening intuitively. So let's see. The one right here. All right. In stillness, there is strength, there is flow, there is growth. In quiet, there is sound, there is music, there are words. Each moment holds sacred messages written in the language of stillness and quiet. So I'm going to pause the film, find the space that aligns to this poem, and we'll connect into it again and take it to a deeper level. See you in a moment. Hello and welcome back. So this is the piece that inspired that poetry, or where the poetry came from. So it's another dimension and another message that arose from this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you as much as I can. You'll have to bear with me. I'm still learning how to do all this. So I'm going to give you a little tour of this piece. So every piece that you see here exists in and of itself and in relationship and connection with the whole of the space of Well of Being. So as I create new things, the pieces themselves begin to take on new characters, new energies, new messages. So this original scroll, and I don't read Chinese, maybe there's someone out there who recognizes this. This original scroll I actually found in the attic of this house. When we purchased the house back in 2015, the former owner left many things in the attic. And I have actually integrated quite a few of them into the Well of Being. So as I explore with you, you'll get to discover which of these amazing found objects have woven their way into the space. So it's kind of cool because it does have an anchor point here and obviously many other places, that alone. So this scroll itself existed as this, and then there are embellishments. So I did oil pastels on the top, and then you might have seen at the bottom, there's a waterfall at the bottom, and then there's other aspects that I have brought in to create the full energy of the message. So what I'm going to do next is to read the poem for you, and then just allow myself to channel any other deeper message or light language around this poem and this message and this piece and this energetic space within the well of being, because every single aspect of this space is a portal. So again, from into the well of being, in stillness, there is strength, there is flow, there is growth. In quiet, there is sound, there's music, there are words. Each moment holds sacred messages written in the language of stillness and quiet. So I feel a lot coming in right now. One of the messages I'm hearing is just the space between. The space between words, the space between breaths, the space between one action step and another, that in this space between, literally, there is infinity exists. So, Nsantier Satakeya Rantikia Shai, Nsayatakadia Ratakanya, Wu Sandatia Shatsaki Tikanyara Tukotanyara Tikinya Takanatia Tatanya. Undai tsike anakatia rtike tsenya takatai. Unzandia tsikitir satakatanya atakatai. Unatatia katia zikiti. So I'm hearing in the light language that the stillness and the space between, and the magic of the spaces between, and the structures that are here on earth, and how we structure time it's sacred and it's evolving. It is sacred and it's evolving. So allowing yourself to explore your own awareness of the structure of time, whether it's literally like the clock time, how we count days, how we count years, the alignment of months, the alignment of seasons, and allowing yourself to feel into not only those things as demarcations in our structure, but all the energy and message that holds for us. So we could see, being that this is, I believe, a Chinese scroll, I'm feeling into the sacred way, the I Ching and the Bakwa, and the way that ancient masters were able to divine alignments in space and time as what has evolved to be the structure of the Chinese zodiac, and even looking at the 5 elements, looking at, if you're not familiar with 5-element theory, the alignment of seasons and organs and emotions and color, and how all of that is interconnected in oneness. And this is something that you can explore much deeper through my website, melissalaborsky.com. And that is all I was deep diving into for 13 years, is this concept of 5-element theory. But the message that I'm hearing right now is having awareness of these alignments and structures, and also awareness of the space between, holding the space of oneness, holding the space of the alignments with structure and timing, but also being aware that there's so much more in that space between, and giving yourself the pause to allow whatever magic wants to come in for you, because again, you are an aligned being, and the more that you are opening to that reality, that you are this multi-dimensional being, spirit to mind to body doesn't even cut it, you are so much more than that. But as you are opening to that, it allows you can exist in these structures moment to moment to moment, and those spaces between, there's a particular magic that allows you to tap into your infinite possibility, and then be creating your reality through those spaces, those little spaces that are there all the time for us. Binsitia ransitia katanyare e. Se tatanyara ateke anyare. Ai atakanyara take sandaba e. E sanati etikatanyara take. So it's like there's this, I know we've come a lot recovering. So you're following me, you're flowing with me. It's like we are in this state of liberation and expansion. So when humanity was first here and was trying to figure out embodied life on Earth, and yes, even our own experience of being born and developing, it's like you need those boundaries and you need those structures, because otherwise it's overwhelming and it doesn't feel safe. And you may even feel stuck and frozen because there's just too much. There's too much. But we've been evolving. We've been evolving and evolving and evolving so that we are capable, that we are able of connecting into these possibilities with greater ease. So being able to connect into structure, but not have it be rigid. So it's not that we're just throwing all structures away. It's that there's more fluidity and more openness with the structures that we create. And when I use the word structures, I'm speaking of everything, language. I mean, you can hear how fluidly I'm able to shift in my speech and connect into other energies and frequencies. And whether it's like that for you or some other way that might show up, the structure of relationships at every level, intimate, familial, our work life, and yes, even the structures of how we connect to everything within our body. So all structures, there's been this opening and this liberation, and it's not to create overwhelm within us, because we do have this new ability that we've been evolving to be able to align moment to moment to moment, to connect in and support us with finding our way, finding our way, finding our way. So these points of stillness are twofold. That space between and those points of stillness are, give me a chance to breathe, and also give me a chance to, in that space, I can align. So when I'm speaking of alignment, it really is a moment to moment to moment awareness. I see that a lot, of you tuning in and tuning in and a tuning in. And we have more space in our lives than we may allow ourselves to be aware of, even those of us that it may appear very busy and very full. So tuning into those spaces and also being aware of where you may need to clear out the busyness and create more space, because this alignment is so absolutely important right now for existing in this new reality where things are more open and fluid. So claiming the space, claiming those points of stillness will allow you more peace and allow you the ability to tap into higher levels of alignment. So simbanan sietakai bonsanta ke arata konjati arata konjai satakate rutsapantia tsakondai utai nakatai unayata kanyeratiki and to be tender and patient with yourself. You see there are flowers. And if you were to think of each of us as being a beautiful flower, we know our time. We know our time. And our time to bloom and our time to close our petals back up. And it's super essential to be gentle and tender with yourself in this process and to align to your own divine timing. So this was magical. And one of the other things that's really beautiful is I could come back to this same space, read the same poem, and have a totally different message for you, even 10 minutes from now, because there's so much connected into each and every one of these spaces. It's the alignment of the piece as it is. It's the alignment of myself as I am. It's the alignment of where we're at in time and space. So it's all beautiful and magical. So many amazing messages that want to be shared with all of you. So thank you for joining me. Again, we will continue to dive into the well-being in this way. So you can tune in through this playlist to do so. And the book is available for you. And for those of you that are local, you can come check out the space for yourself. And don't forget, we'll be celebrating on 2/10/2024, welcoming the Year of the Dragon. Wow, this is amazing. Yeah, just feeling the openness of this space. Enjoy and have a beautiful, blessed day.